Technical difficulties.
Is that what happened there?
Yes, technical difficulties. We're back. So
we're back. So we were talking about the evil exes, and we already talked about Matthew Patel. He sang. He got his ass kicked.
He got exploded into.
I may be out of order here because I'm just reading it off of the cast list, but then the next one is Lucas Lee, right? The Chris Evans character. Because they go to the movie set that's being shot at Casa Loma in Toronto, and it's awesome that a lot of the Toronto background stuff is in this movie too. It's like you see Honest Ed's, you see Pizza. It's mentioned a couple of times in there. People are getting pizza and stuff. But Casa Loma is huge, like in Toronto. Like I mean, everyone goes to see it. And what I thought was funny was the movie set that they were working on. I mean, it kind of like it's a movie set, and then you think he's acting, but he's really just seeing Scott Pilgrim, and he's starting to go after him.
I'm talking to you,
but he
Scott
throws him
Pilgrim.
through one of the backdrops of the movie, which is a New York kind of back scene. And as you throw it through, you see the CN Tower in the background, and it's like, that's just perfect. That was planned and executed well. And like I said,
it's little tiny details.
He knows you're going to go back and look at it, and he knows you're going to read about it and talk about it. So Chris Evans is hilarious. Fun fact of a friend of mine who lives in Toronto, I fact checked. I asked him where Casa Loma was and if he could tell me anything about he was a big comic book reader. Yeah. And if he knew anything about the comic book, he didn't know much about the comic book, but he said that the rail that Lucas Lee, the character, goes down on, like grinds, is nowhere near there.
Really?
No. It's nowhere near there, and it's not nearly as long. But obviously, with the magic of movie making, they made it long. But it's a fun little fact.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
As I do not live in Toronto.
Yeah. Well, no, I think now you can probably go to Toronto and go to that spot and go. I mean, you said you've been to Casa Loma and you saw some Scott Pilgrim stuff.
They have posters of all the movies that were filmed there.
Lots of movies get filmed in Toronto. And but this is one of the better ones that I've seen anyway.
Yes, this is a great movie, and it honestly, it's one of the best films shot in Toronto in total.
I'm trying to keep on the topic of the exes though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to ask you about an ex.
Oh, okay. So the next one would be the girl, and we talked.
We already talked about her. The one I was going to talk about is what's his name? Todd
Ingram.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Todd
so
Ingram.
This is the point
he's number 3, so technically he's after Lucas Lee.
Yeah.
So he's
okay.
before
So he
Roxy.
was number 3 because he had the number 3 on his shirt.
Yeah.
And he pointed with 3 fingers too, or did he?
I don't think he did.
No,
I don't think he pointed with 3. But he's a big douchebag.
Yeah.
TM.
Yeah. And he played a comic book character too.
Really?
Oh. Prepare to have your mind blown with the worst Superman movie ever made.
Wait, he played Superman?
He played Superman in Superman Returns.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Really?
Todd Ingram, Brandon Ruth. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I see it. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense now.
But I mean, I
feel bad for the guy.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't the only one that ruined that movie, so it's okay. But like the base battle.
Base battle is awesome.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Also, the whole half and half thing. Interesting thing in the comic books, because I have read the comic books. The vegan police don't get triggered by anything. The vegan police just kind of show up randomly, which in the comics you're kind of like, oh, okay. I'm happy that they actually was like, oh, see, no,
so
he
they made
triggered
it make
them.
sense.
Yeah, instead of just all of a sudden just we're here now, and then going, oh, okay.
I think it was a nice touch in the movie, and I mean that was done 7 years ago, and it's like basically people are still like with the gluten diet that people think that they're. It's a hipster thing, right? Like I mean, it's classified as a hipster thing. Like no offense to anyone that has that diet. I'm not trying to offend anyone.
I am.
But well, you go ahead. You go ahead. But I mean, there are people that have real problems with gluten. But I think there's people that think it's a solution, and it's really just a lifestyle, or you're a big hipster douche if you're just doing it for no reason.
It's
so
like
that. I mean,
it's like also at the very beginning of when Todd's like, vegan just make when
it just makes you better than everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also like how when he loses vegan powers, his hair flops down.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that and going, It's very CGI. You can tell it's very CGI.
I thought of Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah.
It's like whenever you defeat some of the characters, it's just their hair just all of a sudden doesn't look right. But it was good. I mean, and the homages to the video games don't stop there. So I guess then the next X would be Roxy Richter, right?
Yes. So the one after that is what's 5?
Well, see, I've got Gideon here.
Wait, sorry, 5 and 6 are the...
Oh, the twins.
Yeah, the whatever twins.
Yeah.
The dragon people.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that as racist. Like, literally, dragons come out. Yeah. Also, did you know that they crank it up to 11, which is an homage to 2 things. A, 5 plus 6 is 11.
Yeah.
And B...
is that confirmed?
What?
That it's the other? Because I don't remember hearing any. I was thinking it was going to be that, and I never saw any information. You're talking about Spinal Tap, right?
Yeah, just knowing Edgar Wright, I think I would I would put money on it.
Yeah.
Just knowing Edgar Wright and his films, I would put money on it.
And why wouldn't you, right? But I think he probably, for the same reason that, I think everyone's kind of done it. Yeah. He didn't need to put focus on it. I think anyone that's a true fan would know what turning it up to 11 means.
Why don't you just make 10 louder? Because it goes up to 11.
Because it goes up to 11.
Yeah. And this is where Threshold comes in.
Katanyagi? I'm not saying it right.
Yeah, it's words.
Not saying it right.
Whoa, they actually have first names.
They're actually
Kyle
twins.
And Ken.
They're actually twins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They have 2 different last names.
No, they have the same last name.
No, that's their name in the
movie.
Okay.
Sorry, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I was reading the wrong name, okay. I'm reading the character name, not the cast member.
But
I think they had CGI make their faces look the same, so.
But in this movie, this is the part where Threshold plays. Well, I guess where they perform Threshold.
Yeah, Battle of the Bands.
It's a really great song, and I also really like how the first time I watched this movie, the beginning to this song really caught me because it's like, we are Sex Bomb, we're here to talk about death and make you and sadness and stuff.
Yeah.
I forget what's the exact, we are Sex Bomb, we're here to about death.
I can't remember what they
said. I can't remember, that's annoying. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I love this movie, and I can't believe I can't remember. We're here to talk about death and get sad and stuff. I think that's what it's about.
I think so.
And then it says this is the beginning of the song, and it starts, and I was like, I really like that meta-ness of them just saying, yeah, this is like a grunge song.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, this is the beginning, and then the whole. You're a fan of Weird Al, right?
Oh yeah.
Smells Like Nirvana.
Yeah.
This Threshold reminded me of that. Where it Smells Like Nirvana is like, and I don't know what I'm singing. This one's like just sad, like depressing, like emo kid stuff. It's like my body's stupid, and I'm like, okay, I like how they did that. Yeah. They're like, a bunch of stupid teenagers. First thing, I can't believe I didn't mention this. The credits to this movie, the opening credits, I think is some of the most amazing opening credits.
Yep.
With the cool like hallway effect. And then it drops down and like the cool background, stuff like that. Like even that, I still love watching that part.
Yeah.
Just cause like, oh, this is like, it pumps you up. Like the effect's cool. It looks awesome. Like honestly, like, I would love to have like just the background of this podcast just be like that 24/7. Like it's awesome. Just like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we covered all the X's then.
Except for now we just have Gideon Grey.
Gideon Grey. And I think it's really funny. Jason Schwartzman, you being a big fan of Wes Anderson, he kills every role he's ever in. I can't say I've seen every movie he's ever been in, but I've enjoyed every performance that he's ever, and this is no exception. You know that he's like the big bad boss or whatever, right? So
I just love how he carries himself in this movie. With like him jumping down the stairs and stuff like that with the cane.
Yeah.
When he takes the sword, it's cool. When he
lightsabers.
Spoilers. Yeah.
Yeah.
when he stabs Scott. Spoiler alert. I guess if you're watching this, you kind of already subscribed.
We've covered the spoiler alerts on this one.
But yeah, like I just think it's a really cool scene. I also really love the fights in the very beginning when he's like cutting the people, and then the people turn into coins, and there's coins on the ground in the shape of them. Oh, that was really cool.
Yeah. I like when they actually put a focus on the coins. They're actually toonies and loonies and quarters, and it's very Canadian. Stayed very strict to that. And like the first time the guy got like when Matthew Patel. He's like, ooh, coins.
Yeah, ooh, coins.
Like, and I think we had a discussion about Michael Cera and whether he was the right character for the role.
Want to go on that real quick?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I'm saying is that's what he brings to the table. He brings that awkwardness. Yeah. That's charming.
So if you've seen our other podcasts, you know that there is he's even hosted one of one of the No Topics ones. There's a person that works for FauxPop named Ruben, and he is a big fan of this movie as well. And he also read the books, and he did not like Michael Cera being cast because he said it strays for the books. But I think as Edgar Wright directing this, Michael Cera was perfect because you had to have Scott more awkward so it would fit in with Edgar Wright's style.
Like when you're taking something from a comic book to the screen, there is a certain element that you need to cover that pages and drawings don't cover. You know, like a personality traits. Because I mean, like the person's got to move, the person's got to talk, and the person's got to do this stuff, and you also have to feel for that character. Yeah. Right. I mean, from what I'm hearing about what the comic book is he was kind of a bit of a jerk. Yeah. Through the movie.
And at the end of this movie, you hear. Like he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm being a jerk. Like, and he says at the very end, you see that a little bit through this movie, but in the book, it's just like he ends up being like a womanizer and stuff like that.
So he's unapologetic for being who he is.
No, he's a complete asshole. And actually, you know where he fights Mega Scott at the very end? In the book, it's more. Mega Scott? I think it's Mega. Sorry,
I thought it was Nega because it was at the very start when they do the thing where he's fighting.
I thought that was Mega Ninja.
Well, I just meaning that he's the negative version of Scott, not the Mega version.
I have no idea. And anyway, like in the book, Scott has to fight him to come to terms with the terrible things he's done and like his assholeness. Where in this, I really like how Edgar Wright obviously was like, I can't have another giant fight. That would just be too much. Yeah. So I like how he's like, I'll just have them, go get pancakes and stuff like that at the end. So like
they become friends because they know so much about each other.
Yeah, they come out and they're chatting and stuff like that. Like, oh, he's a pretty nice guy. I was like, I like that. I like that. That's how they dealt with it. Because there's like a build up and just, oh yeah, hey.
And I was thinking that too when I watched it the other night too. It was like, I'm not ready for another fight. I don't want to watch this. I don't want. We just saw the big fight. I was surprised at the end. How it all happened, because we didn't really talk about Knives Chow, the 17-year-old high schooler, and I love how it kind of talks about, the texting and how information spreads so fast. There's one point that his roommate actually is passed out and still seemed intact, and it was just like, as unbelievable as that is, it's awesome.
I also love that matching transition of Wallace sitting there, it's night, and then also Wallace, it's the morning. Yeah.
They do that a lot through the movie, and Edgar Wright's just not wasting time. He's like getting to the point of what it is, and it's like flipping a page in a comic book. Yeah. Like New Day. New Day, Day 2. I loved how they did the Seinfeld thing too. Yeah. Like I'm a big fan of the satirical laugh track. Yeah. Like there's a show on Netflix recently that's doing it, and I think they do it well. It's arguably, either good or bad, but it's a show called The Ranch. It's got some characters from the 70s show, and it's kind of done like a show with a TV audience with a laugh track.
I don't like that show.
But all of a sudden, they'll curse. And you'll see something that's a little bit different than what is the norm, and it's just like, I think, they're on part 3 now, and I think it's done after that. So obviously it didn't work for everyone. Yeah. But I really, that's my example for like a laugh track working at first. And I like how they did it. It was very simple, very quick, and it was just like an entertaining anecdote in the middle of a movie, waiting for things to happen. Like, you never really waste time watching this movie. And that's what I'm so impressed with. That's what made me so happy that we're finally watching a movie that there's really no debate on how awesome this movie really is.
Oh yeah, it was a great movie.
Yeah. Like I honestly, I can't find anything wrong with it because anything that's wrong with it, they actually made fun of before I could even say it.
They acknowledged it.
You know, like you have characters that are like sarcastic. You have characters that are, not so happy all the time. Like you deal with the former relationship of Kim and Scott. But you never really deal with it. You never have to. They don't get back together because they're meant to be together. It's like it didn't work out. And they live in a town where they see each other, or a city where they see each other all the time, right? A gig is a gig is a gig.
Yeah. This movie is one that I want to do for a while, and I'm very happy that we've got to do it. It's just packed full with everything. Ed Gray is a brilliant director.
Yep.
The soundtrack is absolutely amazing.
Yep.
And yeah, like you said earlier, once you watch it, you want to watch it again. Like it's, and even though at the very end when you're like, oh, I don't want to see I don't want to see that new fight.
Yeah.
After that part, you're like, okay, that was funny, and then it ends with him going with Ramona, and then you go, okay, I don't want to watch that again. It's kind of like
I have this issue with the Netflix era.
Yeah.
Where you can watch a movie and you shut it off. You don't have to watch the whole thing. You can watch it like a TV episode. You can watch half of a movie, come back, watch it year or months later or whatever. Yeah. Sometimes years. But like, I find that more times with the Netflix era, I will watch part of a movie, and if I like the movie,
you'll continue.
I don't want to watch the end because I want it to be me playing it in my mind how it could end.
Yeah, okay.
Not like big movies that are like
I love watching
really great movies. I watch the end of.
I love watching how people end it. I find it interesting because as much as I can imagine it, it's good to see how, like, as much as people watch movies going like, oh, it's a show. To me, it's like it's a little world inside that screen. I like seeing how it ends.
I gotta look up the movie I'm thinking of.
One thing I should mention to our American audience, if we have any American audience. Just because I know some American people.
Yep.
And watching this movie, they were pretty sure that Scott was a sex offender because he's dating a 17-year-old. 17-year-old. But in Canada, the legal age is 16.
Yeah, it's disturbing that you've looked up that information.
Well, no, just
but
like
you're 17, so it's okay. It's okay.
I'm 17, and it's kind of something that
and
it's just kind of funny because everyone always mentioned it, and I was like, well, no, not in Canada.
And it wasn't like he was doing anything. Like, I mean, he honestly was bragging about getting to second base.
Yeah. He held hands once, and then she got embarrassed.
First and a half, maybe, and like that was the laugh track, right? So it worked.
But yeah, so this was it's a great movie. I'm happy to do it. I'm really excited for Baby Driver to come out. I'm really pumped for that. I'm
really having a hard time finding. Oh, there's a movie called Sleeping with Other People. Okay. I still haven't seen the end of it, but I love the movie so much. So if you're on Netflix and you're looking for something to watch
that.
Kind of raunchy. Jason Sudeikis, Alison Brie. Basically, the relationship of friends that want to sleep together but decide not to, and these kinds of things happen. And I don't ever those kinds of movies. I just want people to be like realize that it could be a mistake and it could ruin a friendship.
Yeah.
But in end of all those movies, they always end up together, and you just know that the next movie would be it ruined.
Yeah.
And moving on, making new friends with people, right? So I shut those movies off when I don't like what I think the ending's going to be, because then I just roll it around in my head and be like, no, it's great. It's great. They became friends, and it was good.
So what's your rating for Scott Pilgrim vs. the World?
I would rate this 4.5 hipster chicks out of 5. And those hipster chicks were scary as hell.
They were.
You're watching this movie at night, you're just like, I did not expect that to startle me as much as it did.
Just, oh, hello.
I mean, they're hot and very goth hipster looking. Like they nailed it
and stuff.
They nailed it, but one more close up and I would have had a nightmare.
So I'm going to rate it, obviously, because I have to be tough on this movie at some point, so I'm going to have to rate it toughly. I'm going to say just to leave room for Baby Driver. 6 bases out of 10.
Okay, I've got a question for you, just because it's on my mind.
Yeah.
If you go to see a band,
Yes.
do you buy merch?
Yeah.
Okay. There's this one time I was in Bayfield and there was a band playing, and I can't remember the name of the band, and it would do no justice to actually say the name of the band.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a band that nobody in town, as far as I knew. It was like, you know, a band from the city, and you know, maybe they were made a name for themselves somewhere else. But like my friends in town probably didn't know who it was.
Yep.
And I watched this one guy walk over to the merch booth and buy a T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you've never even heard this band.
Yeah.
Why would you buy this shirt?
I can tell you why you did it right now.
Okay. Support, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's the same reason that, like, for example, when I went to go see a game in Toronto.
Yeah.
I don't like Toronto. I don't like Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
I still have the ticket in my room, though.
Yeah.
Because it's a souvenir. It's to say, hey, look, I did this. It's a little sample of that experience.
Well, the end of that story is that I said, you haven't even seen the band. What if they suck? Then the guy behind me says, they do. Turn around, and it's the guy. So me saying that is you're like making room for a movie you haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
What if Baby Driver sucks?
It has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, but you know, like you can't rely on other people's opinions.
No, I can't.
And
but
you rip movies apart.
I do.
And this isn't going to be an exception.
I know.
So like, this is a huge bar to reach to watch a movie that you've already went on camera and said, I'm making room for it.
And
but just who knows? Maybe you're overcompensating when you actually review it.
This isn't the only thing I'm overcompensating for. Just so you know, as
you
a
heard
little
it
thing.
Here first and last.
Lately I've been really nice on movies.
Yep.
But where most YouTubers will come on and they'll put on like an act, like, oh, I'm so grumpy. I literally rip apart movies. That is literally where I get the joy in my life.
Yeah.
So lately, it's been kind of me just kind of not having, because I'm still in high school. So I'm just graduated.
And you're dating a high schooler.
Yeah, I'm dating a high schooler. So I've had exams lately, and that's kind of why I haven't been really focused.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now on, I'll go back to my ranting and raving and meanness.
Okay.
So after this, I'm gonna have to start picking some movies I'm not a big fan of.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
See you next week with that.
Thanks, Danny. It was Danny Miles. That's who it was.
Okay. So what movie are we doing next week?
Out of Sight.
Out of Sight.